This is Gary Brown, and we're about ready to walk along the edge of Indian Mounds Park. And what I'll be doing as I go on this walk will be referring to the PDF files showing the trail reconstruction and the trail elimination in the park. So what we'll be doing is just kind of walking along here, and we'll see some areas that are slated for removal, some areas that are slated for improvement. So where I'm at right now is I'm starting on the downtown end, the west end of Indian Mounds Park. And there's no trail here right now. So we're approaching the overlook, the parking lot that's here right now. So here's the first of the existing benches. And as with many of the benches here in the park, you can see that invasive species, invasive trees, have really ruined the views that used to be available when these benches were first put in. This is probably one of the better views of downtown St. Paul, but right here you can see that there's a lot of undergrowth. And you can see that there's trees that have come in here blocking the view. One thing to remember is this was originally oak savanna in this area. So let's just keep walking down into the parking area and the overlook that exists right now. This area right here is very heavily used for recreation. So again, here's the overlook, but not much of an overlook. The winter time, this is a great view. Right now, not so much. Trees have been removed in the past, but as you can see, they've grown back in again. The sumacs are down lower on the slope, and they really don't get into the view too much. And what I'll be trying to do is, on the existing trails, walk on the trails. So I'm not walking pretty much on the open grass. Right now the river is quite high. This is a nice area right here. And this is a good example of what happens. There's no trail here, no formal trail, but people walk where people want to walk, and you can see that trails have developed. The end of the parking lot now. And if you refer to the PDF files, and there'll be an image of that in this video, we're now at the first spot where there's a major trail removal. Looking at the map, this trail right here is going to be repaired. This trail right here is going to be removed. Now, a great part of the rationale that I've been hearing for the removal of the trails is that the trails are too close to the edge of the bluff. As you can see right here, there's a pretty goodly distance. Right here, we're probably, I would say, maybe 10, 12 feet from the bluff's edge. Hardly right on the edge of the bluff. Now, this is one of the first benches that may be slated for removal. Why? I don't know. Looking here, this could be a fabulous view. But right now, trees have grown in here, blocking that view. There's ash, some sumacs, which are native, but none of the oak that should be here. So again, this part of the trail is slated for removal. And looking at the rationale of it being too close to the edge, it's not. Here's another spot where we've got a trail leading down. Man-made, not park-made. So moving up to here, this is where the end of the removal is scheduled for. And you can see some people have actually made some marks showing right here that this chunk is going to be, this chunk is scheduled for a removal. We're now walking along Mounds Boulevard, and let's hope that the cyclists don't run into me. So where we are right here between the road and the bluff, this is scheduled to stay. And right here, there's not much of a difference between the area that was scheduled for removal. This is a good example of what the view should be. Broad vistas looking down the valley. One of the most remarkable geological features in North America. So we're moving up to another junction. And moving down here, heading towards a pair of benches. Now this part of the trail is scheduled to stay intact. Again, a really fabulous view in this open area right here. Now these two benches are slated to be here. You can see there's a lot of notices that have been put in here, right on the benches, talking about what may or may not happen. So moving up past this second bench right here, this is where the trail is scheduled to break right here. This section right here, scheduled for removal. The bluff here, 30 feet away, at least. Maybe a bit closer right here, 15 feet. The removal of the trail, the physical asphalt, concrete trails, doesn't guarantee that the trails go away. Here's what happens. So we dip down here. This is closer to the edge, but it's hardly a dangerous situation. Looking back, let's get a better view, showing this is close to the edge right here, and it dips down. But here's a spot where a simple realignment could take care of the whole problem. Looking back, this trail here stays. A simple realignment right here to the right of those trees would preserve that part of the trail. So this part of the trail, and we're about halfway on the image 2 right now, this part of the trail is slated to stay intact. And another bench which at one time had a fabulous view. Now looks onto just nothing but a wall of vegetation. This could be removed. It's not native species. What is a native species? Up there. We're looking at oak. This is the real tree that belongs here. This other growth just isn't part of the nature that is native to this area. Now starting right here, we're again at a very long section slated for removal. Now, of course, what's interesting walking along here is noticing we're again a ways away from the edge, and people are going to walk here. People are going to go to that bench, they're going to go to the next bench, and they're going to go to the bench after that. This area here is going to get worn down. Instead of being a nice walkable path, it's going to be a mud strip. Right here, probably about 15 feet from the edge. There's an old chain fence right here, or not even a fence, just sort of a don't cross here barrier. This whole section of trail here slated for removal. This is good views. Again, this could be a great view. And again, there's trees here on the edge that are blocking a view. Documenting.
Oh, are you looking at the trail stuff?
I am. This is slated for removal.
Yes, and I'm
Well, walking along the trail some more, just had a nice conversation with one of the neighbors. You can see the birds up there. We have eagles, we have bald eagles, we have golden eagles. So this whole piece right here is scheduled for removal. And close to the bluff, eroding, dangerous, it's not. And right here, this is the spot that if this trail is removed, people are going to be walking right close to the edge. The trails will erode. Things will be a lot more dangerous than they exist right now. Documenting the trail.
Great. Oh, good, good.
I can pretty well guarantee that when these benches were put in, this view right here was a view, not blocked like this. So we're moving along here. And this juncture right here is where the trail gets removed. We're right up to the right edge of the illustration number 2. And there you can see another bench with a destroyed view. Now this part of the trail right here is slated to stay intact. There's really not much of a difference between this trail and the trail we were just walking on. See, now a wall like this, it's probably WPA age. In some areas where there is a concern about being close to the edge rather than that simple chain, it's the sort of wall that can be constructed. Going up here, uphill here. Here's a nice area. Prairie restoration. This entire area here is more akin to what this land used to be like before the park went in. And here we've got some of the older oak trees too. So continuing up the hill, now this part of the path is staying intact. Another view blocked by invasive plants. Now we're approaching the area where the last set of still extant mounds is present. This part of the trail still intact. And a fabulous view here. This is what the other views should be like. So right here, looking over the edge, there's no trees blocking the view. You have an entire view down the river, Holman Field, the old terminal building with Holman's table in it. Two very nice benches right here. This part of the trail here is where it gets cut again. So we'll just keep moving up here. Now where the base of the tower is right here, you can see there's a bit of a mound, and that is the remnant. It's either a remnant of one of the mounds or of a house that actually stood on this spot. I've got some old postcards showing that. So where we are right now, this is scheduled to be removed. Now you can see in front of us are the existing mounds. here, yes, it is close to the edge. Again, this could be moved back. Or a good wall put up. Another beautiful view looking down towards the river. The thing to remember again is that the whole reason that these mounds exist is because of this view. So right here, the trail goes between the mounds and the bluff's edge. Back, I believe through the 60s, there was actually a road that ran along here. I've got postcards showing people on top of these mounds. We'll walk around the outside edge. So right there where we looked, we'll go back here for a second, right about there in the center of the view, that fence will continue to the bluff's edge. What the fencing will be like, I don't know. Will this fence remain? Or will it be another fence along the bluff's edge? I don't know. So there's 5 mounds that are pretty much still remaining. To say they're intact is a bit of a stretch. They've been excavated, they've been plundered, they have not been treated well. Right here, this trail right here between the 2 mounds will be removed. And the overlook there will probably be closed. Moving along the outside edge again. And there's the mounds. Now right here, this pavilion. According to the plans on sheet 3, the trail between the pavilions and the edge here will be removed, as is the trail right along the edge here. So the probable assumption is that there is going to be fencing moved up into this area. What I'm walking on right now, I'm going to surmise is probably going to be the edge of the fencing area. And again, the pavilion's not going away. People will make their own trail. What's a nice defined path right now will be replaced with broken down earth. So here we have the most easterly of the remaining mounds. Comes down into here, and where this juncture is right here, this is where the path going up to the parking lot remains. Curves around here, and this whole section right here is going to be removed. As we move along the base of the mounds right here, we come up to the final overlook. This is what I imagine the other end is going to be like. You can see that the fence line here moves down to the edge of the bluff. Now again, we're at an overlook. Undergrowth removal would improve this view vastly. Walking along the inside of the semicircle of the wall. That's pretty much the end of things. So I hope this video showing the trail gives a better view than just simply saying it's good here, it's bad here, what's here. We've actually had a good look at the trail. So we will be annotating this. This will be posted on YouTube. Well, you're probably watching it on YouTube right now. There'll be web links. This will be posted to the next door. This will be posted to the East Side site. I'm Gary Brown. Thanks for watching.